Today at our page of Expert Corner at SoProxy, we have the pleasure of interviewing Professor Patrick Corrigan, a prominent expert in the field of stigma. Is Distinguished Professor of Psychology at Illinois Institute of Technology, and is author of of many books and a lot of papers specializing in issues related to mental illness and stigma. Very welcome to Professor Corrigan.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, the first question we would like to ask you is what is stigma itself, and why can it affect so much the quality of our daily life?
So the stigma of mental illness is in the same category as racism or sexism or homophobia. We know as an enlightened culture that disliking somebody because ethnically or racially they're different than we are is a great social injustice. Similarly, men disliking women is an similarly equal harm. So we become interested in over the last 15 to 20 years is trying to understand the stigma of mental illness and realizing the stigma of mental illness is just like racism and sexism. When the public believes that people with mental illness are incompetent or to blame for their illness or dangerous or homicidal, that's a stereotype that's unjust, and it leads to all sorts of unfair discrimination, like employers who don't want to hire people with mental illness, or landlords who don't want to rent to them, or primary care physicians who offer a substandard of care. That's one big problem with the stigma of mental illness. The other one's the self-stigma. Self-stigma is the idea, I always say it's the sad irony of mental illness. It's hard enough being depressed or anxious and having to deal with the sadness and the worry, but on top of that, you're supposed to feel ashamed of yourself, and that's self-stigma. And so we clearly know that quality of life partly is impacted by one's symptoms and disabilities, but probably even more so on the way the community reacts to us in a stigmatizing way.